and move on to the ACC Championship, and North Carolina taking on Clemson here. Laying 7.5, Clemson is, with that total of 63 and a half. Clemson trying to figure out where it went all so wrong against South Carolina. But maybe it's because you chose the wrong quarterback. But Trig, talk to me here. 8 o'clock ACC. What do you think here? Points, more points? I can't even say it with a straight face. Do you expect North Carolina to play defense? Stop. Tell me, what do you think we're going to get here?
Joe, I mean, I haven't expected North Carolina to play defense all season. I don't know why it would start now. I've gone against North Carolina right out of the gate, and I finally got my big payoff over the last 2 weeks. I had Georgia Tech, I had NC State, back-to-back winners fading the Tar Heels, there, and I don't know if I'll jump in with Clemson, but that's the side I'd be looking at here. I haven't liked this Tar Heels team since the beginning of the year. You referenced it there. Their defense has been awful. And then they overvalued themselves by this string of wins, which is now, they'll kind of come back down to earth. But Clemson lost as a 2-touchdown dog last week. So one thing you have in play here is the fact that both of these teams, North Carolina losing to Georgia Tech as a 21-point dog, Clemson losing to South Carolina as a 21-point dog, have ruined any sort of shot at playing in the college football playoffs. So does that, it's not that they're not going to care. Listen, the teams, when they're on the field, they're still playing for an ACC championship. It's still a big deal. So I don't think you're going to get a scenario where neither team doesn't really care about this game. I've heard that a little bit. I think that's wild to think that a team wouldn't want to win an ACC title, which is a kind of another reason that I start to look at Clemson, who's 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 conference title games, most of obviously which have been in the past few years, because they seem to end up in this game every year. North Carolina, of course, this is a shot to knock off of what the team that has been the power in their conference over the last, kind of going on a decade now. But again, I keep coming back to the fact that I just don't think North Carolina is that good. I think we now have seen it the past couple weeks. Clemson tends to bounce back when they come off of an embarrassing loss, like the one they had last week in South Carolina. I think I'd lay the points. I would roll with Clemson. I'm not like sky high on this Clemson team. Haven't been all year, but here I think they're superior to North Carolina. I'd have to roll with Clemson. Play the touchdown.
All right, laying with Clemson. I will say this, Bryan Power, I believe we've had a situation here with Mac Brown in North Carolina 3 or 4 times as a dog, and they've covered every one of them so far this year. What do you think we get in this one?
Did I share my Google Doc with you or something, Joe, by accident? Yes, the Tar Heels are 3-0 straight up as dogs this season. I've got it right down on my paper. So there, I am not interested in either of these teams whatsoever. I'm very upset that I didn't fade North Carolina either of the last 2 weeks. I've been on these programs, whether it's here on the Happy Hour show or talking to Teddy and Prez, but I've been there. I've gone against North Carolina a lot, and I stopped when they burned me in that Wake Forest game, and then what do you know? They lose outright the last 2 weeks. They stumble into this game. They are 6-0 straight up outside of Chapel Hill, Joe. But those 6 wins are by how many points? A total of 20. And they've been behind at the half multiple times as well. Clemson, easy to forget this, I think. They're 8-0 against the ACC this year. Their 2 losses were out of conference, Notre Dame and South Carolina. Underdogs generally don't do well in these Power 5 conference title games. Just 4 wins since 2017. 2 of them were last year. And here in the ACC, favorites are 12-1 straight up, 9-4 against the number. A lot of that's Clemson, too. The one time it wasn't was last year, and North Carolina was the loser. The last 5 ACC title games, all decided by 24 or more points. So not exactly a sweat on a Saturday night in these games. But again, I'm going to save some more of this for the best bet segment because my best bet is on the total here. I do not want to play either of these sides because what is Clemson? Trig does make a good point. Okay, an ACC title's on the line, but I mean, if Clemson's up double digits, are they going to be, consumed with shutting the back door on North Carolina, I wouldn't want to be in that position.
Right. It's a good point there, Mejia. I mean, there is, we get it with North Carolina motivation, although, they threw up all over themselves the last couple of weeks here, but they knew this game was coming. This kid Maye, I just have, the more I watch him, the more I think he's got Sundays in his future. Is he not the best quarterback on the field in this game? Let me ask you that.
Oh, by a million. So let's talk about this game in the best bets, because I'll talk about why I like North Carolina, despite the fact that they have burned me a couple of times this season. But yes, to answer your question, UNC is looking for their first ACC title since 1980. Yes, it matters. And they have playmakers, and this Clemson team's not as good as they were supposed to be. And 7.5 points, that's a lot. But I'll finish up with best bets.
Yep. It's a fortunate 10-2 this year for Clemson, but we'll get to the best bets here in just a second.